Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I have got a tutorial. This is a tutorial for a cherry wood farm. So you can farm cherry wood in your survival world. Now you do need a player for this farm to work, obviously because you need someone to actually place the saplings. I did not mean to do that. It's actually not too complicated. Now also it could probably be made a lot simpler. I have threw this together in about 10 minutes just because I wanted a farm to actually farm cherry wood. But it actually works and it produces about a stack of logs every 5 to 10 minutes, which isn't too bad. Here is everything you will need. Now, a few things to note. The chests, depends on how many chests you actually want the storage system to be. The minimum you need is 2, but if you want obviously a lot more, then you can have a lot more. And also bone meal. Bone meal is something you will need a lot of as well, because obviously you need bone meal in the dispenser to bone meal the actual sapling. Everything else, the exact items are the right values. The 2 stacks of birch planks can be any temporary block. These you won't need to keep. These can obviously be gotten back. You just need them to build some extra blocks. And the bamboo planks can once again be any solid block. They don't need to be bamboo. They could be stone bricks. They can be deep slate. They can be black stone. So let's now start building this. The first thing you want to do is you want to build up about 6 to 8 blocks off the ground so you can obviously fit the things under. You can build it on the ground, but then it obviously will mean you have to do some digging. So we have gone up 7 blocks. The next thing you're going to want to do is build a 17 by 17 platform. So as you can see, you should have something that looks like this. I have put the actual black and white concrete in an alternating pattern so you guys can actually count the blocks if you do want to. But overall it should be 17 blocks along by 17 blocks down. Then what you want to do is you want to find the middle block. So as you can see, this is the middle because that's where I actually built up. And then you also want to go around and build up the actual walls around the actual thing. So basically by the end of this it should be 17 blocks in the center, with then obviously blocks going around the edge. Now if you want to save on blocks, then you can cut the corners. You don't need the corners to be there, so you can obviously just remove them. So now once you have something that looks like this, you then need a few buckets of water. So the best thing to do if you're in survival mode is to make an infinite water source and then obviously just keep picking the water up from that, because I think you need to fill 2 sides up with water. So let's quickly just do that. Now all of these need to be water sources, so as you can see it flows 1 block away from the middle, and then the same on the opposite side. All of these need to actually be water sources, so once again it flows all the way to the middle like that. So you should now have a platform with edges all the way around the edge and then water flowing to the center like so. So now let's build the actual next thing. The next thing you're going to want to do is break one of the actual blocks you put in the floor and put a dispenser there. Now don't forget it needs to be a dispenser because it needs to dispense the bone meal on to the sapling block. Then what you want to do is 1 down, put an actual dirt block, so like that. You then want to put 2 observers going into one another, so it's an infinite tick. As you can see, that one is facing down and then that one is facing up. Now you can also have a piston here if you want to, so when you actually push this block away it turns the dispenser off, but you don't really need to, because unless you get annoyed by the ticking, it won't waste the bone meal. Now what you need to do is you need to break out these blocks in the actual centers here on both sides and fill them with blocks underneath. So you need a block at the back there. Let's actually just make it bamboo so it all matches. And then you need blocks going along the floor all the way up to the actual edge, actually missing 1 block right there. And then the same on this side, you need a block coming down, a floor going all the way, missing 1 block right there. You then need a sign on that block and also a sign on that block. That basically just stops the water flowing that we are about to place right now. You then need a source block at the back there that will flow down, and a source block at the back there that will flow to that one. Now you want to actually get your hoppers, and you basically just want to put a simple chest like that. Now these chests you can actually carry going all the way down if you want to. The actual storage is completely up to you. If you obviously won't AFK it for long periods of time, then you don't need big storage. But for now we're just going to have the 1 single chest, and we want the same on this other side, so let's just put a hopper like that and a chest. And if I show you what it looks like from up here, as you can see the hoppers are in line with these blocks. And that's on both sides. So now you should have something that looks like this from the top, and then if we go to the bottom it should look something like this. So what you're going to want to do is place a temporary block underneath the dirt block, or 1 block away from the dirt, and put a sticky piston right there. The reason we need a sticky piston right there is because if we was to place a actual sapling on top of that dirt, it would grow the tree on the actual block, meaning we couldn't place another sapling. So we need to move that log so we can place more saplings, and the way we do that is just by using some redstone. So what you need to do is place 3 blocks going out like so, and then go up by a block right there. So from the actual observer, you need to do something that looks like that. But going from the piston, I mean, you need something that looks like that. And then on the end of this block, you need an observer facing out from the farm, like so. Then on top of these blocks, we can now put the redstone. So you need redstone there, a repeater there, and also some redstone like so. This repeater I put on 4 ticks just to make sure it pushes the piston up long enough. We are now going to build a hopper clock. So the hopper clock is going to go below this actual observer. So if we quickly just do that, you're going to want to put 2 hoppers going into each other, as you can see, with the observer on one of the sides. From there, you want to go underneath the block. That block is temporary, so that block can be removed. Same thing on this side. So you want something that looks like this now. You then want to put a comparator on both of them blocks, with then a block coming out of that comparator like so, with redstone dust on top of them. So you now should have something that looks kind of like this. If I go from an angle, it looks like that. You then want to put pistons on these blocks right here. They need to be sticky pistons. So you should have something that looks like that now. And then finally, you need a redstone block to go on one of these sides. It don't matter what side you put it on, it will go on either because it will eventually fix itself. You then want to put 10 of your temporary items into the actual hopper. So let's quickly just get 10, and they need to go inside of there. Now that will obviously click back and forth, pushing this block up every time this observer gets updated. So we'll get to that in a second. The next thing you want to do is place 2 observers detecting the 2 blocks that are always being moved. So as you can see, every time that piston gets pushed that way or gets pushed back, it updates these observers. Now you need to come out from the observers by 2 blocks on one side and then a trapdoor, and then 3 blocks on the other side. So it should look something like this. And then what we're going to want to do is place repeaters on the 2 back blocks. So let's quickly just do a repeater right there, and also a repeater right there. Both of these repeaters need to be 3 ticks, so let's quickly just do that. And then you want to put 2 redstone dust like so. Now this is where the scaffolding comes in. You want 1 piece of scaffolding on that block, and then you want to put the rest of the scaffolding on top of the trapdoor. So now we need to go up by 28 blocks from this floor platform. So the best thing to do with this is obviously make sure you have 28 blocks. You should have 29, but one of them goes there. And then basically just go in survival mode and build up all 28 blocks. Now you want to make sure you actually get this completely correct, because if you go too low, the actual TNT could blow up your farm. If you go too high, the TNT might not blow up the trees. So this needs to be exactly 28 blocks tall. And if we now go to the bottom, as you can see, we have something that looks like this with the scaffolding going all the way up. Now that's almost the farm actually complete. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place an observer looking into the top of this scaffolding. And if we actually look at the back here, you'll see that it will update. Yeah, there we go. You saw it update. That's because the trapdoor got moved or closed and the scaffolding updated. So then what you're going to want to do from there is go out by 6 blocks. So that's 3, then 3 more. That's now 6 blocks. And then from this 6th block, you're going to want to go out 4 blocks on either side. So that's 3, let's go out 4. And then the same thing right here. So you should now have, from this angle, standing on top of the scaffolding, a observer, then 6 blocks, and then an extra 4 blocks on both sides. So now from there, you're going to want to place a sticky piston looking out from this block, so it should look facing outwards, and the same on this side. Let's actually do one at a time. So let's do this one first. You then want to go in an L shape like so, going from the actual piston, and then you want to do the same thing but in reverse. So we're now going to do another L shape facing like that. You're going to want to place a wall right there on the edge of the first L with a minecart detector rail and a minecart on top. You're then going to want to go down and place a coal fan. You can place the coal fan when you're actually building this, so you don't have to build down and all stuff like that. And finally, you're going to want to place a TNT under that actual wall block. Now, we can't place the TNT there yet because, as you can see, it just sends down. So we're going to want to place it under the wall. Now, we actually want to do exactly the same thing right here again. So let's quickly just do that with an L and then another L going off of that with coal fan there, wall right there, minecart there, trapdoor there, and then finally the TNT on the end. Now that's actually these done. The final thing you're going to want to do is place powdered snow. You want to place it 2 blocks down by 2 blocks across, making sure you cover the block under the wall and also the block under the minecart. And these need to be just under the TNT like so. Once again, the same on this side, under the TNT right there by 2 blocks. And then under the minecart by 2 blocks, missing an air block right there. And finally, you now just want to place redstone with a repeater there on 2 ticks, and then redstone just going all the way along. Oops, if I don't fall. Then redstone going all the way along like so. And as you can see, it's now actually working. The TNT has been pushed into the correct place, and the TNT is now actually being sent down, exploding just before it actually hits the water, as you can see. We don't want it to hit the water because then it could be pushed and blow up on this block, which will then blow up the whole farm. But it explodes at the perfect height where it destroys the actual cherry trees once they're grown. Now that's actually the farm done. The next thing you're going to actually want to do, this is up to you, you don't need to do this, but you want to build a platform right here that you can stand on. This can be however big you want it to be. This can literally just be the 1 block if you want it to be. And then you want to break the block above your head that the dirt block is next to and replace it with a slab. Now you should have something that looks like this so you can actually see where the actual above the dirt block. And now what you're going to want to do is fill this with actual bone meal. So let's quickly just grab some bone meal. Obviously if you're in survival mode then you'll have to go and get it from skeletons or bone blocks. So there we go, the dispenser is now full. Now all we need to do is look at the back of the block, so that bamboo block, and just hold our click button. And as you can see, it's now placing the actual cherry wood. When if we go up here, you can see that the TNT is blowing it up and the drops are being collected. Now there is a little bit of a waste on top of this block right here. It's not really too much that gets stuck on that block. I'm sure you can maybe put something there like a hopper minecart or something that then collects it. But after testing it for a while, not many blocks get stuck there at all. So now if we quickly just look into these chests, as you can see, they are now collecting the actual items. That sign shouldn't be in there. But that is basically this farm done. And all you need to do is just stand here now holding your click button. And as you can see, the reason the block actually pushes up is to push that block that grows right there out of the way so you can place another actual sapling. And that is how it works. Now once again, it's not the most efficient farm in the world. There could be some tweaks made to it to make it more efficient, but it definitely does the job, and it produces more saplings than you actually use. As you can see, we have 17 saplings in there, 9 in there, and we've only used about 5. So it produces way more saplings, and if you wanted to make it fully AFK, so you can just go here and hold your click button, you can then make a dispenser here that basically dispenses you more cherry saplings. 2 more things to note. If you have leaves like this, don't worry about them, because eventually they will decay because there is no log there, and they'll eventually disappear. So don't worry about leaves just sitting like that. They'll decay, drop anything into the water, and then it'll be collected. Now the next thing, if you want to have a way to turn the farm on and off, all you need to do is put a lever on one of these blocks right here. It don't need to be both, it needs to be one or the other. And then basically just flick it. And as you can see, that basically stops the hopper clock from working. And as you can see, the whole system, it gets shut off. It no longer sends down TNT. The only thing that does still work is the actual dispenser. All you really need to do is have a sticky piston right there next to the actual observer, with then just a redstone line going like so. And as you can see, when the actual farm is ticked off, the observer gets pushed away, so the dispenser no longer ticks. And if we turn the farm on again, as you can see, the dispenser gets, or the observer gets put back under it, so the dispenser can tick. So that is all you really need to do if you want the observers to be turned off so the dispenser isn't clicking. This, once again, could probably be made a lot simpler, but that is just a simple way of doing it, just having a redstone line with a sticky piston. But anyway, that is where I'm going to end this video. If you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe. If it helped you, then also leave a like so I know. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will try and help the best I possibly can. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.